join us too. All right, so now we are live on YouTube. All right. So good morning, Katrina. How are you? All right. So I was talking about this, guys. Rosalia, do you have experience with Talk and Talk?
Yeah, I'm a host, Italian host here.
Oh, isn't a problem. So,
Yeah.
guys, I will skip the part about the rules, all right? And I have to say only one more thing before we start. So I had to explain to YouTube viewers what is Talk and Talk. So Talk and Talk is a platform conversation for beginner, intermediate, and advanced English speakers, and live conversations meetings are for all levels. So this is not a regular class, and we are not here to teach you anything. However, you are gonna learn by practicing in a real environment. So this is our philosophy. Here you will develop your fluency and confidence as an English speaker. So please, everyone, be respectful and don't correct anyone. And more important, enjoy it because for me, it's always a pleasure to be here, right?
Right.
So, guys, today we are talking about this. What do we agree or disagree about the pros and cons of on-site, hybrid, and remote work? Okay. So, in this model, we didn't have questions to answer. All right. For example, question number one, what do you think about this? And you
Mhm.
start to answering, I think this or that. So in this model, you have to say what you think about that phrase. All right. I will send the questions, but isn't questions. I forget how to say affirmation, but it's this. On chat, please. Everyone receive the text.
Yes.
All right. Did you receive Katrina, Lucas? Okay.
Yes.
So Lucas, Rosalina, and Katrina. Let's start with you, Lucas. I will ask for everyone introduce yourself before we start our conversation. I know everyone here had experience with Talk and Talk, but it's good to practice our way to introduce yourself. All right. Good morning, Dalva. Welcome, Lucas. Please start.
Lucas, I am 22 years old. I live in São Paulo, capital. I've been working with technology for 3 years. I like very much, but some days that are complicated. In my free time, I like play soccer, listen to music and watching series. And sometimes I go to the gym, but I don't like. I've been on TNT Science last year, it's been about 6 or 7 months. That's it.
Congratulations. Congratulations. So we work with IT too. So welcome here. It's a pleasure for me. And you, Rosalina, can you introduce yourself, please?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Rosalia. I'm 55 years old. I'm living in Joinville, Santa Catarina. I was born in Paraná, but I'm living here today since 23 years already. And I have two children. They are adult today. I'm living only with my husband because they are married, and I don't have grandchildren, but I wanted to have in the future. I I hope for that. My children don't like when I said that because they all the time complain because I am a little making cobrança, I don't know, but I only joke. Then in my free time, I like to read something. I like to watch some series. I am following the Turk series today for Turk series all the time at the same time that I all the time I'm waiting for the new chapter only week every week. Yeah, more or less about me.
All right, that's awesome. So you had two daughters and you want granddaughters, all right? Or no?
Yeah. Granddaughter, grandchildren,
Grandchildren.
grandson.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So I know the feeling because when I got married with my wife, and the next month, my father and my father-in-law start to asking, "Man, I want, I want grandchildren," you know. So it's common, all right. And you, Katrina, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Katrina. I'm 39 years old. I live in Vitória, Espírito Santo. I'm engineer. I think tomorrow I complete 15 years work with engineers in the engineer area. But now I work more with projects, new projects in the oil and gas sector. I'm married. I have a daughter. The name of my daughter is Ana Carolina. She have almost 6 years, and my schedule is very crazy because my children have many energy. And I love running. I love enjoy the weekends with my family because in the outside my home, because Vitória it's a beautiful place for living. I stay in TALKNTALK for improve my skills in English because English in my job now is very important. In last years the meetings in English it's improved a lot in my job, and because of this I spend more time listening and speak in English, and if it's possible, we stay in TALKNTALK every day because for me it's important this time speaking. And I think it's this little things about me.
Yeah, I had a daughter with who made 2 years old on Saturday, and I know they had so much energy. I had the other older daughter with 7 years old, and it's a challenge for us. All right,
It's crazy.
and
Yes.
it's a challenge. I know. And good morning, Dalva. Can you introduce yourself, please? Can you hear me? Dalva.
Hello, guys.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit lower, but I can hear you.
Okay. My audio is bad. My name is Alvan. I'm 26 years old. I live in Federal District. I live in English. É isso. Eu vou ficar praticando meu listening hoje.
It's a little bit hard to hear you. I don't know the reason. Sometimes I can hear you and sometimes I can't. But I listen you had 26 years old, all right?
Yes.
All right. So please be I forgot what I was saying, but thank you. Guys, my name is Carlos. I'm 32 years old. I work as a software engineer to a company here in Brazil, located in Florianópolis, Santa Catarina. And I work remotely, so it's something I like very much. the topic of our conversation today it's related to this, but I will skip this part now. I'm married. I had 2 daughters. I like to spend my free time with my family. Actually, it's always nice to be with my daughters. My young daughter start to grow in a faster way now. Talking everything and playing with everything and make us laughing all the time. And it's awesome, really, really awesome for me. I'm in love with, I don't know if it's the correct word, but estou apaixonado por essa fase, for this phase.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. I think a little bit I missed this part with my older daughter because I didn't know how this can pass so fast. So I'm trying to enjoy more with my younger daughter because it's the last kid that I will have in my life. So I had to enjoy. I don't have plannings for had other kids, so it's the last chance, to enjoy. But this teach me how to spend more quality time, time with more quality with my old daughter too, how to play more with her and don't miss her childhood,
Yeah.
and working. So I'm studying English because I want improve my English, but I'm not here to talk only about myself. Guys, as I explained in the beginning of our conversation, today we don't have questions. Today we'll talk about what we believe is better or not, talking about pros and cons, all right? So to start with the first isn't appointment. I had to go to search because I don't remember afirmação.
I think it's affirmation.
Statement.
Statement.
This is the word I was looking for and I didn't remember. So the first statement says this. I will read the first one, but in the other ones we can play with other random. And so the first one, I will start because I want to show you what we will do, and the other guys can use this example. So the number one, explain why you are for or against, agree or disagree with the sentences. So the number one isn't really a question. The number two, remote work allow employees to work from anywhere, which is particularly important in times of uncertainty. So for me, I totally agree with this statement because today we had more opportunities to work remotely. And for me, a guy who worked exclusively remote in the last year, it was really, really good. If I had to work on site or on the company, located inside the company, I didn't had this opportunity because I don't want to leave my city now and maybe go to other city was too hard for me because I had kids, I had a house here, and the companies in my city don't pay so well in my area. We had a lot of universities here, so companies usually like to contract younger guys who accept to receive less than what I need to my family, to provide things to my family, So for me, remote work allow everyone to work anywhere, any place, and especially with today with our uncertainty. So, and you, Katrina, what do you think about this statement? Remote work allow or not?
I think work remote is the best because when I remember my past in the offices, I dislike that time because I stay 1 hour in the traffic or when I go and when I return, and I think it's 2 hours in your day. You lost. And for me, I think now for some kind of jobs, it's totally totally possible. It's possible for everyone work for the remote companies, and after this pandemic, these things is more clear for everyone. And for me, I have 15 years working with engineer. In the past, I don't imagine work from home during 3 years, for example. I'm not imagining. 20 years ago, I work with engineer at home. But now I think these things is more the technology, the mindset in the companies change a lot, and I love the remote job, and I wish for these things falling. I think it's falling
Yeah.
in the future, because now it's possible for the people work remote have a life. For example, in the morning I'm running. Now I'm talking with your guys, and after this I start my job, and it's the best in my life. And I go to the school with my daughter before the class. In the past, I don't imagine my life with these things.
I know. I was doing the same. I go running before our conversation, and after our conversation, I go to work here inside my house without had problems with traffic and those kind of things. And you, Dalvan, what do you think about this? Do you work remotely? Do you think this can help us or not? What do you think, Dalvan? Dalvan, are you there? Dalvan. Let's go to Lucas after we can go back with Dalvan. Lucas, what do you think about this? Do you work remotely or no? What do you think about sentence number 2?
Number 2.
Yeah.
I agree. I really the remote work of this possibility and begin close to the family in good and bad times.
Yeah, of course. So you work remotely?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. It's too loud. I can't hear it.
Remotely and science to end.
It's good. So I had the experience to work remotely since 2013, 14. I don't remember exactly, but this showed me in that time how good it was to work inside our home. And I came from there preparing myself. So when I was building my house, I built an office here to have this experience. So I always want this, to work remotely, because I had this opportunity to work to a company in the capital of Paraná, Curitiba, who bring me this idea. For me, like Katrina said, I couldn't imagine how this was possible, because I was working on site on the company, and I go to there to my boss and say to him, man, I want to quit my job because I want to go back. I'm missing my wife. I can't live here anymore. Going to my house only on the weekends. And he told me, man, do you want to work remotely? So he gave me a Nextel. And in that time, when they need to ask me, the Nextel start to ring, and I start to do what they want, and was really good for me. And you, Rosalina, do you work remotely? How in time? What do you think about this? This can help anyone in these times today?
Okay, I agree. The remote work is the future. It starts since it start to a pandemic. Then I've never worked in the office, because before I had the supermarket. Then I work in my own supermarket for 20 years. Then now I sold the supermarket. Nowadays I didn't work outside anymore. I make my thing. The work today is easier than I couldn't. I don't have the opportunity to working remote for another office, but my children had that start to work remote. Then now they needed to back to the office. They complain a lot because they don't like so much. They wanted to search for another because they wanted to be continuing in the work remote. And I think it's the important, because we can start to be together with your family, to enjoy your children, to enjoy when the children grow up. It's so important, because you can miss that, and you are together. You can to be continue all the time with them. It's so important.
Yeah, exactly. You talked about this, and for me, it's important. For example, in the middle of the day, I had to go to lunch, and my wife sent my kids here to my office saying, "Daddy, come to lunch," and and I only spent 2 minutes to be with them. I don't have to go to a restaurant or those kind of things. It's really, really good. So let's go to the next statement. Number 3. Katrina, can you read and start for us, please? Number
Yes.
3.
The number 3.
Yeah.
Hybrid work is the best solution, as it combines the best of both worlds: on-site interaction and the flexibility of the remote work. I think sometimes stay together is very important. For example, last month I stay with the other engineers and together in a meeting in Rio de Janeiro. It's a new project. It's a big project for a new ship in the oil and gas sector. And in the project manager said, I need to stay with you guys in a place and looking in the eyes, because when you work remotely, it's very common you stay in a meeting in the Teams and other person call for you and you lost your mind in the project. And I think in this case, work together in the office is the best. But for example, in other meeting, I go to the office and I stay in 3 meetings, 3 different meetings, and the people stay together with me in the meetings in the other desks. It's crazy because I work remotely on site, but for me it's not. I think it's productive things. And I think it depends. In this case, when I go with the other engineers and they stay during the day speaking about the project and don't have other meetings, I think it's very productive. But when you go to the office and work on site and stay all the time in the things or in the meetings and things, I think these things is possible for you do at home.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are talking if you had a meeting to do a brainstorm, for example, this is good because you had your full concentration. So depends on the situation for you. All right.
Yes, I think it depends.
Okay. And you, Lucas, what do you think about this statement? Do you like to work in the hybrid work? It's a good solution or no? We can solve all the problems online. What do you think?
I agree, but in parts, because hybrid work can be bad for people who live far away from work. For example, I have been working for 3 hours from my current job. Lucky I work remotely, but there are people who love these modalities. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. For people who live far away from work, it's hard. I had a colleague in my work who lives in Maranhão. I think it's Imperatriz, Maranhão, and the companies it's here in the south. And 2 times per year, we had a full week on the company, everything paid by the company, but he leaves his house on the beginning of this Sunday and only arrive here going by 3 or 4 planes traveling and arrive here in Curitiba on the Monday. So he spent almost 20 hours traveling. So it's really hard, and for him isn't possible this model. And you, Rosalia, I know you told us you don't have this experience to work remotely or not, but what do you think about this model? It's a good solution or no?
Yeah, depend the situation, depend of the factory, because as you said, the people live so far of the factory, the office. I think it's so difficult to put it, to add something like that. But I think hybrid work, when the employer need to go to the office once a week, I think is a good way to interact with the other employers, to meet something together. I think it's okay. But I think today everything will become remote work. It's not a good solution, only to interact a little more with the workers.
Yeah. For me, I don't want work in the hybrid model. I agree a little bit with Katrina about this brainstorming meetings and those kind of a specific situation. But I think if all the people in the meeting had the compromise to have their full attention to the meeting, I think this can be possible for this can work, because if everyone is paying attention to the meeting, you can solve all the problems. Think about this: if you work to a company on the other side of the planet, on the Europe or USA, it's more hard to be in there on site, so you had to solve the problems remotely. And this happened all the time on the world of IT, on software engineering, for example, Linux system. It's a operate system. Everything is built remotely for years. So sometimes it's good to be on site, but for me, it's more about the relationship with other peoples to make some jokes and have more laughing, But for productive, in my point of view, it's best for me work remotely because I'm a guy who like to talk a lot, to make jokes and those kind of things. And in my productive increase working remotely, but I miss this part of stay with the guys and go lunch and had some fun, But I prefer to work remotely. So let's go to the next sentence. Rosalia, can you read and start for us, please? Number 4.
Okay. Hybrid work is important to balance employee well-being and the company efficient.
All right.
Oh, to helping, I think so, as you said now, it's important to have some interaction with the another workers, but it's not so to put this work is to work better, because when they have the chance to work remote work, I think it's better because they are enjoy all the things at their house, they have time to stay with their family at the lunch. They don't need to go to a restaurant, they don't need to waste time with the traffic, they don't. I think for the employer, it's more important to work a remote. Hybrid work is important only to interact with the others, with them.
All right. So it depends the situation, in your
Yeah,
opinion. All
yeah.
right. And you, Lucas, what do you think about this? Our health, our well-being, it's boosted by our hybrid work or no?
It's depend on the company, but I agree with this opinion. The hybrid helps a lot, but I saw that efficiency is like it to the project plus company culture. And unfortunately, not all occupations or professionals can work remotely. This case.
All right. All right. I don't think I understand correctly what you told us. Can you re- I was using a wrong word again. I was talking resume, but resume it's curriculum in English. Can you repeat, please? Because I don't have sure if I understand what you told us. Can you repeat, please?
Sentence, complete sentence.
Yeah.
It depends on the company, but I agree with this opinion. The hybrid helps a lot, but I say that efficiency is like to the project plus company culture, and
Okay.
unfortunately, not all occupations or professionals can work remotely.
Now I understood you, and I had to agree with you, but and disagree with the sentence because the other job that I had in the past was I was a police officer, military police here in Brazil. So this is a type of work you can't be you can't work remotely, you know, you had to be in there. But sometimes our well-being stay on the company or on site is pretty, it's pretty, we had problems on our well-being, you know, because when you had a boss you don't like, see them face to face every day, it's more stressful than other things, you know. So uh, for me, and depends on the company, of course, and depends of the type of the work, but sometimes it's harder when you had to see every day face to face some people. When you are in a meeting, when you don't like someone, you can skip this part, you know, because on the meeting, when the meeting ends, you go to do your work and you aren't talking or seeing that person anymore. So this helped me more my well-being, you know. And you, Katrina, what have you?
Normally,
Oh, please, Lucas.
normally the operational areas do you not have this possibility,
Yeah, of
unfortunately.
course, of course, of course. If you had to put your hands on the job, it's isn't possible to work hybrid or remotely. And you, Katrina, what do you think about this? It's important or not?
I think it's the connection between the people. It's important because, for example, now I work with projects. It's very common. I work with in every year. I start and end 10, maybe 11, 12 projects, and I work with 20 people in cada projeto. And if I don't know, and if I don't know the people, I think it's more, I spend more time and more energy for these things, and sometimes stay together and conhecer pessoalmente. I think it's more easy for some things in my job, because now I'm a work with projects. Sometimes I need convencer. I don't remember convencer in English, but the people, the importance about the project, about the things, about the task, and I think for me it's more easier because I know, and everyone in my job, and sometimes it's more easy, it's easier for me call for the people, speak, and develop the things. But if the one new engineer sit in this position now, and it's more difficult for these things, because don't know about the company, about the culture, about the people, about the peculiaridades. It's different, and I think if it's possible, I think stay and know about the people who work with you. It's a good thing, and it's more easy for you resolve the problems. And I speak with one engineer 2 months ago about this. It's very common. Now I work como terceirizada na Petrobras, and it's very common now. The people, I'm staying in Vitória, and it's very common now. The people in Manaus, the people in the south or the other parts of Brazil work for Vitória, and the people don't know about the the how do you say, the the equipes aqui. And sometimes it's very difficult. It's very common now. People stay for 1 month, 2 months, and after running in this job, because it's not the o trabalho não rende.
All
Because
right.
people
Change a lot.
don't have, yes, change a lot, and it's difficult. I think in the factories, for example, work remote is not possible. And I think when you stay with the people for 1 week, 2 weeks, and know about the business, and after this you stay work remotely, I think it's more easier.
Yeah, I think you told a very important point about this. Sometimes work remotely, we had these changes in our teams too fast, and new people coming and other people going out of our team, and sometimes stay strong. Build a strong team, it's harder because people are quitting their job, changing companies too fast, before you solve some problem or build something important to company. And I think this can be a real problem. And what you talked about this bring us to the next question, the number 5. And I will ask you, Lucas, can you start, please? Well, I think what Katrina told us had relation with this other statement. Can you start, please?
5. On-site work is essential for building healthy professional relationships. More or less, when I worked on-site work, my team discussed a lot, and I had many clashes. Yeah, clashes. Unfortunately, but depending on the situation, it's works very well and can make people strong.
All
In my
right.
opinion.
So you face some fights on your work, yeah?
Many fights.
All right. This can happen, when I was younger, I worked to Coca-Cola in a factory here in my city. During the lunch, we had 1 hour of lunch. After we go and eat, the guys had this, how can I say, had this tradition, see 5 minutes without losing our friendship, so guys go fight against each other, and it was a really real fight without losing the friendship. I don't know, men do those kind of things. It's a little bit crazy. And when I was watch this the first time, it was so crazy for me, and I start to walk away, man, I don't want to participate this. But guys spend I don't know, 20-30 minutes fighting each other, because for them it was fun. But when everything finished, they go back to work, the friendship was the same without anyone be angry. But I always told to them, man, I don't want to participate this. But sometimes I make some aposta, I don't remember, gambling. I think we will win and you will lose, it was funny to watch, but for me it was so strange. But it's off-top subject. And you, Rosalia, what do you think about this number 5? It's essential to build a health professional relationship or no?
Yeah, depending of the professional, because there are some some professions don't need to be together. You can work only remote, but to build a health professional with the workers don't need to be all the time together. Only once, twice a week, I think is enough. You can build with another, because if you have some person that you don't like so much, you dislike this person, you need to stay together. Is horrible. Then we are working in remote. You can see this person. You don't need to see, don't need to talk with them. Then you only to make your job and go on. But if you are in the office, in the same space with the person, you need to talk. We need to make your job, because it's a professional. Then I think it's not so good in the one way, and another is good. It have it two sides.
All right. So I will ask you one more thing. You told us in the beginning you had a supermarket in the past. I will ask you about this. If someone bring a name to you, saying, for example, Rosalia, I know this guy, he's awesome. I think he can work here in the supermarket and he will be a good employee, for example. I don't know if this happened or not, but for you, it's more easier to trust in other employee if someone bring this indication or no, this help or not in trustness.
My supermarket was in the neighborhood. Then you need to know more the person. When I know someone that knows another, that I am have a necessity for the person working this some space in my supermarket. Then some person came to me and said another. I didn't like to put this person there, because the person have told about that don't like if the person don't work better. Then I need to fire this person, and almost two months ago. Then I need to fire this person. Then another will be, don't you like so much for that? Then I didn't like to do this kind of things. I like to talk with the person was fine for job, then put them to make a little job for once a week, twice a week. Then I need to see your job.
All right.
First,
you had to know the people
to know
before
the person you work for me, because the people are talking about the another is difficult to trust, because
I know you are talking if this situation, if you contract anyone who was indicated, if you had to fire someone, this can be a problem.
It be a problem for the person was talking about the
All
other.
right. And you, Katrina, to finish our conversation, I know you work remotely, but I want to ask you only one more thing. What do you think about this? We are talking about the question number 5 about being on site. It's essential for building a health professional relationship. But for you, what do you think about this? It's possible to build a trustness relationship with other engineers or other employees in your work without being in a presential way, I think engineer, you had to trust in other persons, about their work and the quality of their work. It's possible to build this kind of relationship without being presential on site.
I think it's possible, but I think sometimes you need more, you need time for this. And now with a remote job, sometimes you need the things more fast. And I think when you have a relationship and you know the people, these things is more fast. I think it's possible, but you need time for the things happen.
To build the trustness, you need time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Why I ask this for you and for you guys, because I think one or two jobs I get in my life was doing interviews, putting my name in the company system and going looking for that job. Almost all of them was people who indicate me, man, I know Carlos, I know he is a good software engineer. This can help us in this necessity. Please go ask to him. And someone call me, man, someone talk me about you. Do you want to go to work with us? And I go to them and make some interviews. So for me, my relationship was built with guys along my history, but I think it's more what you talk. It's important, Katrina. The time, if it's remotely, if it's presential, or it's hybrid on site, I don't know, but you need time to trust in the other person of the quality of his work. Rosalia told this very well about put people doing small tasks 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and after this bring other tasks to the employee, because if other without time isn't possible to build trustness. And for me this is something really, really important. It's more important for me the trust, the confidence in my colleagues than their. Of course, they had to have a little of experience and know what they are doing, but the trustness is more important. Guys, I send you 2 links in the chat because we are running out of time. The first link is the YouTube of our conversation. And the second link is our survey. I know everyone here knows about this. Please go to there and give a score about this conversation. And you have some subject you want to talk on the next week, please share with me. And the next Monday, we are talking about finance, investments, be wealth or be poverty. It's important to talk about this, and everyone here is invited to talk. All right. So it's Monday, 7 a.m. It's the time to talk about this. So I invite everyone to be with me in the next Monday. And I would say thank you, everyone, for your time, and was really, really nice for me. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
Lucas. Bye-bye, Katrina. Bye-bye.